This Empire Strikes Back Graflex 2.0 lightsaber by Megtooth Sith comes with everything you see here. You've got the Graflex 2.0 with Prizm 5.1 Goth3D Night chassis with crystal chamber installed by Megtooth Sith. You get the lightsaber stand and plaque. As you can see the plaque there, it's Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber by Megtooth Sith Sabersmith. You get the rice cord. This is your USB to rice plug for the interface with the lightsaber in your computer. You get the custom Saber Shop's Graflex blade plug. I'm including the milled down brass stock eye, glass eye, so you can convert this to the Force Awakens version. You also get a charger, and you get a lightsaber blade in your choice of round tip or bullet tip. That's all the accessories that this lightsaber comes with. You don't need anything else. You're ready to go right out of the box. Ready to hit the premiere of The Last Jedi. Greetings everyone. Megtooth Sith Sabersmith here. Happy days. The Guinness is about. Cheers. And the Guinness is about because I finished the last of my series of Graflex lightsabers for the TLJ build I'm doing. But at any rate, this is the Empire Strikes Back version, and the only thing that's not good on it, it will have this sloth furnace card installed in it, but I have a lot of modification to do on the switch holder to get that card to fit in there. The sloth furnace cards are a lot thicker than the stock cards that come on the Graflex. So right now it's just got the stock card in there for the demonstration, which is fine. So what makes this the Empire Strikes Back version? Number one, it's got slotted grips that are held on by rivets, and these rivets I've actually hollowed out so you can hear sound. We have KR Saber's pommel coin on the end, which is accurate, and I believe I've installed the coin just like you see in the Wampa scene. On the clamp we have a strip of mylar tape which was put on there on the original prop to cover the Graflex logo, but I put it on there, and it looks like Empire Strikes Back because it's got the mylar tape version. It will have the sloth furnace card. You've got the two Graflex red buttons on the top and bottom. Now on this particular saber, they do have tactile buttons under them, so they do function, but they don't function. Both the switches are in the clamp card on this saber. You have your main switch on the front of the clamp card and your auxiliary switch on the back. These two buttons here are totally false. These two buttons are actually your blade retention. So you loosen those buttons and out pops your blade plug. So I've also included this blade plug, which is a custom Saber Shop Graflex blade plug. It's awesome. I'm going to put it back in there. To put it back in, you have to pinch the bunny ears, and then once it's back in, you tighten the false red buttons. Also included are the Graflex tabs on the two Graflex pins here and here. And I've also hollowed out the rivets on the back for sound. So let's see what's inside of it, shall we? To open up the saber, you want to flip up the Graflex clamp lever and loosen it about a turn, and then lefty-loosey on the bottom of the hilt, which exposes your Goth3D Designs chassis and crystal chamber. The crystal inside this crystal chamber is a real quartz crystal. There's 8 accent LEDs in this hilt. Believe it or not, I fit 8 in there. This is powered, of course, by Prizm 5.1. You also have in-hilt recharge port here. When you remove that plug right here, you can plug your charger in there, and I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. And then what makes this one even more special is the plug here. This plug is a micro JST connector, and this is your RICE interface for this saber. RICE stands for Real-Time Internal Configuration Editor. So this saber is equipped with rice and wired for rice, so you can actually use rice, which I will be sending with the Saber on a thumb drive. I'll be sending you a copy of rice so that you can put it on your computer. I'm sending it for PC. I don't have it for Mac. But at any rate, there's a lot of work that went into this. To get that rice port in there was really a piece of engineering. It's a micro JST plug, and I designed it to look exactly like the Goth3D chassis, even though I cut a huge part of the Goth3D chassis out right there to fit it in. But the fact of the matter is it looks just like Goth3D chassis did in the first place, but now you have your rice port there. The main thing is, when you have the Saber apart like this and you want to demonstrate it for your friends, you want to slide this clamp card forward, because what happens is when the bottom of the hilt's not in here to hold this switch holder up, the card can't actually, when you go to activate this switch, it pushes the whole holder down because there's nothing under there to hold up the switch holder, and the card never activates the switch because the switch has more tension on it than the switch holder. So you've got to have the lower hilt on for that switch to work with the card pulled back. So if you're going to demo it for your friends like this and you want to use the auxiliary switch functions, just slide that card forward and touch the button directly. Alright, here we go. We're going to talk about rice. So here's your rice plug, and there's a channel here on the bottom, and the other side looks like this. This side with the channel goes down towards the recharge port. So when you plug in your rice, you have to put that channel down and you plug it in rice just like that. Now it doesn't go in there very deep, and it doesn't need to. Now once you plug that in, you take your USB into your rice port and you're going to plug that into your computer, and you should hear your computer recognize it. Like that. Now we're ready to open rice. So I'm going to go to my folder here. You know, it won't let you like install a shortcut, but we're going to open rice here. Okay, rice is on. So now what I want to do is turn the Saber off and on with the kill key, and you normally turn on the Saber. Let's go to auto scan, connect, and then the way to tell if you're connected is go to the volume, and if you hear it turn the volume down like it just did there, then you know your rice is connected good and solid. So now I'm going to go to the color tab, and this is where we can adjust colors. I want it to read the configuration. So there's my configuration, what I have it at. But let's say like you don't like it there and you want it somewhere else, and you can see the blades going pretty much wherever you want it. So let's say you want to, oops, and I'm sorry, you have to select RGB. I've wired this RGB. So now, you know, whatever color we're selecting in this field here is what the blade's doing. So you can see like there's a pink, and then, you know, pure red is over in here like there, but you know, you can't get these sliders like you like it. I mean, there's how I want pure red, is I want it pure red, and I really don't want to run it that high. That's overdriving the things a bit. Now when you get it like you like it, you click store profile here, and then you can save on override or you can save all, but before I do that, I want to flash on clash. I want to be green, let's say. So now my flash on clash is green. So what I want to do is store profile and then save all, and then the Saber shuts off to let you know that it did it. So now I'm going to reactivate the Saber. See, it knows we're in sound bank 4, which we are, and then I want to go back to the override. You can adjust your gate, slash, swing, sensitivity, all that stuff here. You can also go into general, and on this I have, when you're on font 4, when you're on sound bank 4, accent LED 4 is going, And it works that way for fonts 1, 2, and 3. They're on accent LED. Number 1 is on for font 1, number 2 for font 2, number 3 for font 3, number 4 for font 4. And my accent LEDs, when you're looking at this top red button on the Saber, the rabbit ears, go from left to right, 1, 2, and then on the bottom, 3, 4. So when you're in idle mode, and you're in font number 1, only LED number 1 is blinking. When you're on font number 2, LED number 2 is blinking. Font number 3, LED 3 is blinking. Font number 4, LED 4 is blinking. That's what these adjustments are here. They're to adjust which idle LED is on. They do nothing to affect the LED program other than which idle LED is flashing when the Saber is retracted. That's all it does. But the bottom line is, there's Rice, and this is the Empire Strikes Back version of the lightsaber, and there's Rice working on this saber, and all is well in the world. I also want to talk to you briefly about wires. In all of my sabers, as per the suggestion of Darth Alice, I use Ptfe coated wires. This is a little bit different than normal insulation. Ptfe is military spec and heat-proof coating on the wires instead of normal typical rubber insulation, and this is what it looks like. Now the cool thing about Ptfe is as you're soldering on Ptfe and you touch your soldering iron to the wire, a lot of times what will happen on normal wires, this insulation will actually melt back, and on Ptfe you can touch your soldering iron to that insulation and nothing happens. It doesn't do anything to it because it's heat proof. So Ptfe is very awesome because it stays stripped where you strip it to. So this makes my wiring connections on the Plector Labs Prizm 5.1 very solid, and it makes my wiring connections on the LEDs and the accent LEDs and everything else just as solid too. So Ptfe stranded wire, 30 gauge and 28 gauge is what I used in this saber. It's what I use in all my sabers. That give you some peace of mind that your saber is built to last. Here's a little bonus on the Empire Strikes Back saber. Because of the way the Empire Strikes Back saber is configured, just one minor change, you can turn the Empire Strikes Back lightsaber into a Force Awakens saber. And I am including and sending to you the Graflex 2.0 glass eye, and I've milled it down to expose the brass on the outside, and this will still act as blade retention, but it just goes in there, it screws in right where the red button's screwed in, and I'm including this with your saber so you can either do Empire Strikes Back or Force Awakens. And there you go. Now you have a glass eye in there. Now you're in the Force Awakens mode with the glass eye. So I'm including that with your saber as well. So you can do either version. You can do Empire Strikes Back or the Force Awakens. And there is a Force Awakens font on this saber too. But this is an Empire Strikes Back saber, and I'm putting the red button back in. Now these red buttons are your blade retention. They're what holds the blade in. So now to turn on the saber, this saber is equipped with a Rotary Kill Key. You can see the Rotary Kill Key here. To turn on the saber, you turn it on until you hear the boot sound. After the boot sound, you see your accent LED on pad 1. It starts blinking. That means your saber is ready to fire. So here we go. You can see the accent LEDs in there doing their thing. The accent LEDs in here are pretty awesome. I did a lot of work on them. There you can see them going there. And then on the inside, there's 8 of them in there. They're awesome. They're totally awesome. Those accent LEDs are totally awesome. And the pattern they're running is a pattern that I wrote and designed specifically for these sabers. But as you can see there, you've got accent LEDs in there. They are awesome. Totally awesome. You can see the crystal lit up there. I'm hoping this comes out good on video. And it matches with flash on clash. It also matches on blaster deflections. hoping you can see the veins in this crystal. This is an awesome crystal in this saber. You can see the veins in it. It's an awesome little crystal. It's a real quartz crystal. Lock up. Power off. So let's talk about the functions of the saber, and I'm going to do this again with the actual lower hilt on, but I wanted you to see the accent LEDs, which are just freaking outstanding. To power on the saber, on this saber you have only one option, and that's to push the front of the clamp lever. And when I'm talking about the front of the clamp lever, I'm talking about the side of the clamp lever closest to the bunny ears. When you push that, you ignite the saber. You push it and hold it, it'll turn off the saber. The back button, the auxiliary button, which when you have the bottom off, you have to operate it with this with the clamp switch slid forward. Activate the saber, and you can actually push this button to get your blaster blocks, and you push and hold to activate your lockup. Now I'm going to put the pommel back on. So to put the pommel back on, you want to loosen the clamp one turn or so, and we're going to slide the pommel on. And then once you feel the pommel seated, you want to start threading it. If you feel anything screwy, you need to stop. But I didn't feel anything screwy there. I've cleaned up these threads so they're nice and lubricated and they function as normal. Tighten your screw back down and clamp your saber down, and there you have your clamp on. There's your Cobalt D ring. So now let's talk about how do we change colors on the saber. To change colors, you have to push the auxiliary button and the main power button at the same time. So I'm going to point the saber at the camera so you can see these color changes. Activation, pushing the buttons at the same time, both of them. You get a color change sound. There's your green, pure green, gold, lighter gold, purple, purple, dark purple, darker purple, maybe a pink. There's your full-on red. That's your deep red. Orange. And your full deep blue, which is good for Ptfe. And then your light blue, which is really good for Bespin, shutting the saber down. So that's how you change colors. Now the last bit of instruction you need on the Prizm 5.1 is how to change fonts. So you can't change fonts when the saber is ignited. You can only change it when the saber is in standby. Like right now the saber is in standby. So to change fonts, you push on the auxiliary button, which is on the back of the clamp lever, the end of the clamp lever nearest the pommel. Push and hold it until you hear a beep. This is Graflex 4 by Shamim. That's the bunny ears you hear flopping around. When there's not a blade in there, they flop around. Blaster block. Lock up. Retraction. Next font. Ptfe Graflex. Blaster blocks. Clashes. Lock up. Retraction. Next font. Should be dark meat. Clashes. Blasters. Lock up. Retraction. Next font. Gray meat. Activation. See, I've got it in purple there for you. Flash. Swings. Blasters. Now if you notice there's a delay there, this delay is designed for neopixels. Lock up. Release. Retraction. Last font. Last of 6. 6 of 6.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Graflex 3 by Shamin. Blaster blocks. Clash. Lock up. Retraction. Now, I want you to see these accent LEDs from the pommel end when they're in action on the Saber, because it's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of these accent LEDs in the ESB version. I busted my butt on these. It was a lot of work wiring these up. There's 8 of them in there. Lock up. Isn't that awesome? Recharging the Saber. You want to pull the kill key out.
You underestimate my power!
And then you plug in the charger into the recharge port right here. Once you plug the charger in, then you plug your charger into the wall. Plug it into the Saber first, and then you can plug it into the wall. Once the green light comes on the supplied charger that I've given you, the blade is fully charged, you can take it off the charger. So it takes about...
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
You're gonna die, kid. But at any rate, once you run the Saber down, a good way to know that the batteries are dying is it'll throw swings when you're not swinging it, or the speaker will get scratchy. Those are all good indications that your battery is dead. It's time to recharge it. So go ahead and recharge it. You know, you're going to get about an hour and a half maybe out of playtime on the Saber, and then it's going to be time to recharge it. When you recharge the Saber, it takes about 3 hours to fully charge the Saber, which stinks because you're like, come on, 3 hours, it can't get done soon enough. Trust me, I know, because I'm just excited to get them through at the charge as you are. But you know, the bottom line is that once it's fully charged, you're good to go again, and you get tons of fun. The bad part about these installs with these Knight chassis is you don't have user replaceable batteries. The bottom line is, when this Saber is running, it is awesome. This is an awesome piece of work. I'm pretty proud of my build here. There's a lot of, you know, accuracy upgrades on this one that were a lot of work. This install was, you know, a lot of fun. I like installing the ESB versions with clamp card switches. They're a lot of fun. This Saber is awesome. So let's go ahead and demo the Saber with a blade in it. To remove the blade, you're going to loosen both of the red buttons, and that's going to let you get the blade plug out. Pinch the bunny ears, out comes the blade plug. Then you're going to take the blade that comes with the Saber, and you're going to have to let me know whether you want a round tip or a bullet tip, because I can do either or. I have bullet and round tips to make your blade with. And you're gonna, once you get your blade fully seated in there, you're gonna tighten the red buttons, and you're ready to do business. I'd turn the Saber off. So let's turn the Saber back on. I'm gonna take the, you can take the pommel off too. You don't have to take the whole rear of the hilt off. So I'm gonna take the pommel off. I'm gonna turn the,
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
you're gonna die, kid. That's what you're gonna do. The Youngling Slayer. That's what this lightsaber is. I mean, I don't think of this as Graflex. I think of this as the lightsaber that killed children. So let's kill the lights. Here we go. Blaster blocks. Lock up. Retraction. The signature font of this Saber, it's an ESB font, Bespin. Blaster blocks. Lock up. Retraction. Next font.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Indeed it is. Youngling Slayer. Blaster blocks on Graflex floor. Lock up. Now, while we're on Graflex floor, let's change fonts. There's your green, lime green or gold. A little bit deeper gold. Gold. It's a white. It's a dark purple. A little bit lighter purple. Almost a pink. You're a deep red. It's awesome. Next color is an orange. And then the full royal blue, which works for Ptfe. Lighter blue for ESB. Lighter blue still. And an even lighter blue cyan. This is the one I use for the Graflex 4 font. And that blade turned out really awesome. I just built this blade today for one of these sabers, so if one of y'all wants a round tip, there it is. Retraction. Next font.
The belonging you seek is not behind you. It is ahead.
Ptfe Graflex by Shamin. Blaster blocks. Lock up. Retraction. Next font. Dark meat. Blasters. Lock up. Clashes. Retraction. Next font. Gray meat. Purple blade. Blasters. That's that delayed blaster thing for NeoPixel. Lock up. Retraction. Last font.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Blasters. Lock up. Retraction. And the original font on the Saber, Bestman. There's your ESB font. Awesome, awesome Saber. Another demonstration here. Just like the Nano Biscotti, the Prizm, this is the Empire Strikes Back Saber, by the way. The Prizm 5.1 is equipped with mute on the go, and how you activate that is you press the auxiliary button and then you press the power button and it'll light up and mute like this. And you still get flash on clash, you still get blaster blocks and lockup, but it's in mute. The Saber's not making any noise. And the bonus of this is if your wife or your husband or your parents are bothered by your lightsaber noise, you can play with your lightsaber without any sound so you don't bother them. The only time you get a sound is on retraction. That just lets you know the board's working. And then you just hit the power button and you light back up with sound. So that's mute on the go. Auxiliary button, press and hold, then hit your power button, and boom, it lights up and mute. Last bit of demo on the Empire Strikes Back Saber. The Prizm 5.1 does have a force push effect in it, and how you do it is you press the aux button while you're swinging, and you'll get a force push sound effect.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Now on some of the sound banks it's, it's like it sounds like a force push. In some of the banks it's a quote. Like on Graflex 4, it said, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. So that's the last thing on the Prizm 5.1 that it's capable of, and it does take some practice to get that down. But again, you hold the aux switch while you're swinging, and you know, the thought is push out with your hand like you're using the force when you do that, and you get that sound effect. I'm going to loosen the red buttons now, and I'm going to remove the blade. ESB is so much easier to change the blades on. And then I'm going to put my rubber blade protector back on. So when you get the Saber, to get this off, it's kind of tough, but you just pry on one end of the cap and it comes off. But these are designed to hold the cellophane inside the Saber blade. Don't take the cellophane out of the Saber blade. It's part of what makes the Saber blade look so good. I make those blades, but I'll put them up against Vader's vault. I'm pretty confident in my blades. In fact, that blade went through 3 iterations because it wasn't to my satisfaction. So I had to remove all the cellophane and rewrap it 3 times. So I must have went through almost half a roll of cellophane just trying to get that right. But at any rate, I'm really proud of my blade. So let's put the blade plug back in. There's your Graflex blade plug. You just squeeze the bunny ears, drop her in there, and then tighten up your red buttons. And you're golden. There's your blade plug. So I'll be sending you rice with this Saber. I'm also including the glass eye that's milled down to brass, so you can turn this Saber into Force Awakens by adding the glass eye in place of this red button. You can just add the glass eye in there, boom, you're in Force Awakens mode. I'm also including the charger, the blade plug, the rice port wire that you need to interface with your computer to do rice on this Saber. And you know, this Saber has a deep red, green, royal blue tri-cree, which is RGB, and it's awesome. I mean, the color set you can come up with, and I'm still working on the color sets on this, so by the time you get it, I'm hoping the color sets will be perfect and you don't even have to mess with rice to do anything to it. The settings are already perfect. I've been working on the settings for a week. This is a brand new Saber. It's never been used by me outside of testing my install and making this video. Other than that, it goes in the bag, in the box. So that's exactly where this Saber's going right now. It's going back in the bag and back in the box, and I've already fully charged it tonight. I'll charge it again before I ship it off. But the bottom line is Empire Strikes Back is complete. Whoever buys this Saber is a very lucky person. This is an awesome Saber. I had a lot of fun wiring this Saber. It was a fun install. This was a fun install. Of the 3 that I built, this was probably the most enjoyable install of the 3. I like clamp card switches, and I like accent LEDs. I don't like these red button switches, and wiring those is not fun. It's just not fun. So your Saber's going back in the bag, which is the same bag you'll get it in, and it's going right back in the box, which this is the box you'll get your Saber in. Of course, it'll be in another box in US mail, and don't forget I'm including the glass eye. So the bottom line is ESB is done. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. If you're interested in this Saber, you can hit me up at tomtilman@gmail.com. That's TOMTILMON@gmail.com. Tillman. My granddad changed it, don't ask me why. But it's tomtilman@gmail.com. So may the Force be with you all. Megtooth, Sith, Saber Smith, signing off on Empire Strikes Back.